Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Gonzalo Avila, your employment development coach, with another session of employment strategies made easy. Now, last time we talked about looking for a job. It sounds very easy when you're looking for a job. It sounds like easy. Like, just start applying, start looking at newspapers or EdJoin or the websites. But it's actually very difficult. And the second thing is that it's very hard to stay motivated. I've been in your situation before where I was looking for employment and I thought, once I started applying for positions that within a month I would be hired. But the reality was that it took a lot longer. It actually took a few months. I was very lucky that I didn't need a job right away. I just wanted to kind of move on and with some professional growth opportunities. But as I went through the process, it became very difficult and it was very discouraging. So I know exactly what you're going through. On the positive note, though, is that as long as you keep on trying and keep on moving forward and don't give up, sooner or later you will land the job that you want or have those career opportunities that you desire. You just can't give up. Some of the things that I've learned along the way and that I've talked to some of my clients with is that you have to really set realistic goals for yourself. You have to look at whatever position that you're applying for and determine whether you have the actual skill sets, requirements, or necessary knowledge. Because the worst thing that might happen is that you'll be offered a position and you might not be ready for it, and then you might struggle. So you want to make sure that you set realistic goals for yourself. If you are looking for a position, set some timelines for yourself. Look at what you need when you want to start applying, when you start looking for positions, and start looking at breaking it down into some of your long term goals. Break it down into smaller goals. Maybe give yourself find out what you need to do first. So the first thing is probably finding position that you qualify for, and then you might want to start looking at doing some research about the organization or the company or even market trends. Are employers looking for people who have certain skill sets? Then you want to look at what assets that you have, what skill sets that you have to bring to the position. This will make you more valuable and make it a lot easier for you to find positions. Another recommendation that I would recommend is getting some feedback from your mentors. If you have one, get feedback. If you don't have a mentor, find a mentor. A mentor is someone that could help you throughout your professional growth opportunities. Ask them, what are some skill sets that you do have, what things that you need to work on, and what they would recommend. The second thing I would recommend is create some structure and routine to your day. So as you look for positions and jobs, you want to make sure that you look at, what positions, what structures do you have in place? So for example, are you looking for online every week or every month or every day? Sometimes looking for positions every single day could be very draining and very frustrating. So what you might want to do is just give yourself some grace and look for positions maybe once a week. Set aside an hour of your week, maybe on a Friday or early in the morning during the weekends, and start looking at positions that are available. That would make it a lot easier for yourself. What you might also want to do is break down some of the tasks in regards to looking for jobs. So, for example, you know, looking at positions that are open, looking at some of the requirements for the positions, looking at getting your letters of recommendations ready, your resumes ready. You're looking at possible character witnesses in regards to letters of reference. So start really breaking down the task for looking for a job, because sometimes it can be overwhelming and, like I said, it gets very frustrating. The other thing that I would recommend is that looking at maybe some end of the day review. So whenever you do look at positions and have that structure in place, at the end of the day, go back and reflect on your day. What did you do? What didn't you do? And what should you do? That would help you develop some routines in regards to looking for a job and moving forward. It'll make it a lot easier and a lot less frustrating. Now, the third thing that's extremely important that oftentimes people forget is creating some small wins. Like I said, it's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight, and you want to make sure that you give yourself some grace. So you want to make sure that you celebrate any wins that you do have. So, for example, if you do submit an application, that's a win. You'll give yourself some credit. You'll celebrate if you need to. If you completed your your resumes, that's a win. Take some time to celebrate. The other thing that in regards to wins that you might want to do is create a vision board. Like how do you envision yourself 5 years from now? You know, where do you think you'll be working? You know, how much money do you hope to gain? What do you if you want to buy a car with the promotion? If you want to go on a vacation, start creating that vision board. So that way, when if ever you get frustrated, you could always refer back to the vision board for some motivation. One thing that I like to do is create a progress jar, which basically means it's that you have a jar and you write wins in it, and anytime you do something that's helping you move forward, you write it on a little sticky note and you stick it in that jar. And anytime you do another win, you write it on the sticky note and you stick it in that jar. That's going to help you stay motivated. And that way, if it does take some time, you could always go back and reflect and pull out some of those, pull some of those sticky notes in the jar to see all the work that you've done. Even though you haven't maybe gotten the job that you wanted, but you're still in the game, you're still moving forward. There's a lot of learning that happens with not being successful. Lastly, what I would recommend is create a reflection journal. So basically, have a journal. It doesn't have to be all fancy. It could be a Xerox paper or just a piece of paper with lines in it, and just start writing. What you're going through at that moment, what you hope to aspire to, what you dream about, and document your progress. Because that way you could, you know, if you need to get something off your chest, you could write it down on the journal, and that way you could also reflect on it. Is it really valid? Is it real, or does it seem real? That's going to really help you stay motivated and stay in tune with your own feelings. Because, like I said, going through the going through the process of applying for positions, it's not that easy. It's actually frustrating at times, and it's also very scary. I've known so many people who have not applied for positions because they were afraid to go through the process. They chose to stay in the position that they were in or in the job that they were in, even though they didn't like it, even though they weren't making the money that they thought they should be making. They chose to stay there because they were afraid to even try. So don't be like that. Instead, take a step. It's okay if you don't get the first position that you apply for, or even the second, or even the third. But as long as you keep on trying, sooner or later you will get the position. You just can't give up. Now, I know it's hard. I know it's frustrating, and I know it's scary, and I know it's depressing, and I know it's hard to stay motivated. But you won't know what opportunities lie ahead of you unless you try. Now, I'm talking from experience. I've been where you're at. I've applied for many positions that I didn't get. And I've been, up, my emotions have been really high because I thought I was going to get a position, and they've been very low when I didn't get the position. So I know exactly what you're going through. But along the way, I've learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about what it takes to really do well during the interview process and how to apply for positions. So I've used all of the knowledge that I've gained along the way to help others, so that way they don't have to go through what I went through. Now, my friends, I have 28 years of employment experience, and it hasn't always been happy faces and stars. There's been those moments where I felt very, very low and had very difficult times, but I learned a lot along the way, and I don't want you to suffer. So what I strongly recommend is that you click and follow me, because there's a lot of words of wisdom that I've assisted my clients with in regards to just the knowledge that I've gained along the way. So if you do have some questions regarding um, possible questions regarding the interview process or the employment process, please comment below. If you could do me a favor, share this video with someone who might be going through that process. It might be a friend, a family member, or a loved one. With something to think about, this is Dr. Gonzalo Avila. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.